Welcome to another SmartWOP tutorial video. SmartWOP is the clever, simple and fast design program for carpentry and joinery from Tebek CNC Technique. In this video, you'll see how to design a more complex piece of furniture with SmartWOP, specifically a built-in wardrobe for a wall niche with a sloped ceiling. And this is how the finished built-in wardrobe should look. Let's get started. As usual, first draw a base volume on the floor plan and give it a meaningful name such as built-in wardrobe. The on-site measurements for the niche are a width of 1,500 mm, a height of 2,600 mm, and a depth of 620 mm. What is still missing is the measurement of the sloped ceiling. To do this, draw an angled divider into the volume. Set the left position to the knee wall measurement of 1,250 mm and confirm the entry. Then determine the outer dimensions of the cabinet, taking into account the necessary installation clearance. In depth, give the construction 20 mm clearance from the wall by using a frontal divider with a rear distance of 20 mm. On the right and left, a strip approximately 45 mm wide should form the wall connection. To do this, draw a vertical divider to the right and left sides and offset both 45 mm inward. Create space for a separately fitted 70 mm high base with a double decorative panel by raising a horizontal divider to 70 mm. As the first component, draw an angled plate as a cover into the volume. To ensure the angled cover has the same installation clearance as the two outer sides, set the safety distance to 45 mm. This way, the cover is exactly offset by 45 mm parallel to the room slope. Next, insert the two outer sides and the bottom. Then a continuous back panel and two upright middle sides. The interior layout of the cabinet construction is planned as follows. The right cabinet section should have a fixed construction floor. A clear height of 1,550 mm is planned here, so a clothes rail can be installed underneath. Above it, there should be a shelf raised to 335 mm to accommodate file folders. The middle section should also have a fixed intermediate shelf with a clear height of 930 mm. Above that, two shelves are planned, with the lower one again set at file folder height, which is 335 mm. A total of 5 wooden drawers are desired in the lower section. For this, 4 cross pieces are needed. To do this, draw a bottom into the cabinet and place it 250 mm from the bottom. In the upper section, add a shelf with a clear gap of 120 mm. Then add another shelf between the two and set its quantity to 2. Now select all 4 intermediate shelves and shorten them by 480 mm at the back using the Change Workpiece Size option. The left cabinet section should have the same intermediate shelf at 930 mm as the middle section and 2 equally divided shelves in the lower area. Now add overlay doors and the required drawer fronts. Then switch to editing mode to connect the cabinet elements. First, activate Hide Fronts and deactivate Show Separators. This provides a more transparent view of the interior of the construction. Now draw rows of holes into the cabinet sections that are to receive shelves. Start with the lower left cabinet section, where continuous rows of holes are planned. Adjust the rows of holes in the sloped area to the individual shelves. To do this, open the island drilling option in the template and activate the Connect with Shelves function. Then draw the rows of holes onto the shelves. For the corner connections of the cross beams, select dowel connectors and then mark the necessary connection points. Then click on the drill icon to execute the function. Repeat for all other 90-degree corner connections. For the slanted lid, you'll need angle connectors. Select all connection points and assign the operation. Only the remaining connections are equipped with angle connectors. Now switch to the fittings. Activate Show All to make the front elements visible again. Then select the available 110-degree hinges and drag them onto the left door panel. For the other doors, use the fully available 165-degree hinges and assign them to the corresponding doors. To arrange the cup hinges, adjust the position measurements. Set the upper hinge to 170 mm and the lower one to 130 mm. Increase the number of hinges on the large door to a total of 4. Now you can select suitable drawer slides and assign them to the respective positions. Also, every door and drawer front should be fitted with a bow handle. To do this, switch to Favorites and drag the predefined furniture handles onto the respective components. To place the handles horizontally on the drawers, change the angle of the handle arrangement to 0 degrees. For the drawer with a slanted front panel, increase the handle arrangement by 50 mm. Since the built-in cabinet is still in its raw state both outside and inside, the material still needs to be determined. To do this, switch to Material mode and first draw a selection frame around the entire construction. Now you can select a material, for example, sand gray. After assigning the material to the relevant edges and surfaces, confirm the entries. Now mark all the carcass edges that are not completely covered by the front panels, thus forming a visible shadow gap. Assign them the material ocean. Then select all the front panels, mark the edges and surfaces, and determine the material sage for this selection. With this, you have completed the cabinet carcass. What is still missing are the base adjustment strips and wooden drawers, so click to turn off transparency, switch to construction mode, and activate the Show Separators function. Since a separator base is frequently used but shouldn't be recreated for every new construction, it's sensible to create a component once and save it for further use. This has already been done in this case. Switch to the gallery to call up the component for the base construction now. To do this, select the Base folder in the Components tab and drag the base construction with 2 struts into the lower volume. As a component, the base construction automatically adapts to the entire content of the volume. Now go back to Elements and drag 3-sided adjustment strips onto the respective outer carcass edges. Then select both vertical adjustment strips and extend them downward by the base height, which is 70 mm here. The adjustment strips are always arranged flush with the carcass by default. To set them flush with the front, you need to adjust the arrangement. To do this, double-click on a strip, select all, enter the material thickness of the adjustment strips as a negative value for the position, and confirm. The base should receive an additional double decorative panel in the front area. To do this, simply drag a decorative panel onto the base. Then switch back to material mode to apply material to the connection strips. Select all fitting strips and the decorative panel, assign edges and surfaces, choose the rosewood material, and confirm everything. Now all that's missing are the wooden drawers. Prefabricated drawers are already stored here as components. Simply switch to the gallery, select Components and the Drawers folder. Currently, there are two different heights of wooden drawers available. To assign the drawer components, all front panels must be reset using the Hide Fronts function. Then simply drag the smaller drawer component into the designated cabinet spaces, followed by the larger drawer component into the lower and the upper left cabinet space. You see, all drawer components have automatically adjusted to the different sized cabinet volumes on all sides. And that's it. Your built-in closet for a wall niche with a sloped ceiling is complete. Of course, the furniture construction still needs to be saved. To do this, as usual, use the Save As command in the File menu. You can select an existing folder or create a new one. To work with the material list, it must first be exported. This is done using the Export Material List command in the Export submenu of the File menu. If a program is installed on the computer that is configured to display Microsoft Excel files, the material list will open automatically with that program. It can be edited and, most importantly, printed. With the command file export everything to machine, the CNC programs are exported and saved. For this, a new folder is created and named in the main folder. Now the newly created folder can be selected in the gallery. All exported CNC programs of the current project are displayed here. Now the data just needs to be passed on to production so that all parts for the cabinet can be manufactured immediately. We wish you lots of fun and success with SmartWOP. 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 Clever, simple, fast,